Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back with another review. Now we're taking a little pause from looking at the studio series Bumblebee movie figures, to take a look at the Wavemate for those figures, and that's from the Studio Series 86 line. This is Perceptor, and I believe Perceptor is actually number 11 in the 86 line. So it's chugging along. Now, one thing I have to point out that's really cool, you know how on the back of the box they give these like very short blurbs that are like, really nothing? Well, obviously, somebody at Hasbro realized that Perceptor had a really, that his line from the movie, the main line, was quite quotable. So they actually kind of paraphrased it. After observing a fleet of incoming enemies, Perceptor reports that a cursory evaluation of the Decepticon capability indicates a distinct tactical deficiency, or in other words, they're outnumbered. I think it's kind of cool that they put that effort in. I mean, Paul Eiting really, who was the voice actor of Perceptor, really brought a lot to the role, and just a fun character. Now, we're starting off in robot mode, and in terms of accessories, all Perceptor really comes with is its handgun. Now, for those of you who are the old vintage fans, you might remember that being a Microman toy, Perceptor, came with his handgun, but also a spring-loaded missile launcher, which, when released for Transformers, was neutered. That's not included here. Also, I have to point out all the little dials here, the dial here that would adjust the focus of the scope. Those are all fixed in place. So for the most part, Perceptor is not a working microscope, which unfortunately, that was a lot of the play of the figure. You got to really think you were a scientist. Other than that, though, I mean, we do have a very solid and fun figure here. And again, I have to use the phrase mini masterpiece because, well, obviously, in Perceptor's case, I can see what they'll do with the masterpiece. They'll actually make it a working microscope. But this really does look like it walked right out of the cartoon or the movie. And, it's fantastic. You have universal joints here in the shoulder. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That is a ball joint at the shoulder, mushroom cap swivel at the bicep, 90-degree bend at the elbow. You have waist articulation. You have hip articulation. You do have a lot of extra joints going on there, 90-degree bend at the elbow. That's due to the transformation of Perceptor. Ball jointed head, which is somewhat expressive. You can get some waggle out of it. And of course, you do have his shoulder gun, which in the packaging comes actually packaged down like this, with this section looped through the back of the box. So, I didn't realize you can even peg it in like that. That's kind of cool. That's a nice little feature right there. But basically, just to get it out, that will soft tab into there, and then this will clip into place, which I guess is really more for microscope mode. But for robot mode, even in the instructions they show you, you can angle it up so you have some more access to pose Perceptor's head. And I almost forgot, little sneaky, they did work in some ankle pivot. And for the toe articulation, this one has like a very heavy friction. This one's a little smoother, but you do have feel some detents there. So again, really cool. Perceptor was never much of a warrior. He was a science guy. So it is nice that, they did put a little extra effort into the articulation. Now for the transformation, we'll get into it right after this. Okay, to start us off, I went ahead and removed Perceptor's handgun, clicked the microscope barrel, the shoulder cannon, into place, and brought Perceptor into a neutral pose. Just, make things a little more simple. Rotate the head 180 degrees, and then you're going to flip it down and around into this cavity in the back, and it will friction into place. Next, what you want to do is bring the shoulders down slightly on those blue joints right there. They peg into place on those red bits. Just bring them down enough so that you have some clearance. The instructions show you doing this from the rear. You can do it from any angle you see fit. Next, what you want to do, and now the instructions show rotating the figure, and I know some people have complained about confusion with the instructions and not being clear. And what I think they were trying to show was give you different angles of how to do the steps of the transformation. What you want to do is there is a hinge here on the blue connector pieces for the microscope barrel, and you're going to rotate that out 90 degrees just like that. And then what you want to do is on that red hinge joint that the shoulders were just pegged into, and let me see about brightening things up a little. Right there, what you want to do is you're going to rotate that whole section back. So we're going to do it like this, and this will center that barrel directly over Perceptor's head. And what you'll do now on this side is you'll fold up this section, and that will peg into a slot on the side, locking the barrel in place. At this point, you can go ahead and bring the shoulders, those blue joints, down all the way. First, what you want to do is rotate them outwards, so basically the hollow bits are facing up, and you want the arms to face 90 degrees outward, just like that. Flip the hands in, and I do appreciate the fact that there is some detailing on the other side of the panels that's painted, so that really covers it up. And what you'll do is there's a slot here on the forearm that will peg into a nub there on the inside joint. I mean, this is very similar to the classic Perceptor transformation. Also, I should mention, the instructions show you doing that from this side. I find it a little bit easier to do it this side, just so you can see where that slot and tab is. So we're just about done. Rotating the legs forward at the hip, bring them up just like so. Flip the feet down so they're completely flat. Then on the hip joint, rotate the legs all the way out to the side, and you're basically exposing all of that greeble. Next, what you want to do, there is that inner joint right there that you want to rotate the legs in the right above the knee inward, and Perceptor will sit upright just like that. Bring this chest panel down. That's the little specimen tray, and of course angle the barrel down so it looks like a microscope. I keep forgetting that word for some reason. I'm sorry, guys. And there you have it, nice and neat, just like that. And bringing in the gun, you can. There are posts on the shoulder. You can just peg it in for a little offside weapon storage. And that's about it. Let's see if I can use the camera here and I can get you guys. Can you see down the barrel? I don't think so. But you can. I mean, it is hollow. You can see. It just, there's no magnifying or anything like that, like on the original toy. Now, one thing that I do appreciate that they did mention in the instructions, because they didn't do it when we had Perceptor in Titan's Return, is the Headmaster is Perceptor's tank mode, which again, it was a carryover from the Microman line. And back in the day, that toy could actually sit 3 3/4 inch figures, because the Micromen were 3 3/4 inch figures. So you could actually put a G.I. Joe on the tank, but this is a little too small. And a couple of the extra parts, like the slide out wheels and treads, aren't there. There's no like wheels or anything on this. So the first thing what I would suggest doing is bringing the barrel down straight up like that. Remove the gun from the side here, and basically what you want to do is rotate the legs down at the hip, and then on those same joints that we used for microscope mode, rotate it around. And you're going to have to finagle a little here. There's a notch here on the outside of the leg, which is now going to be the inside of the tank mode, that's going to tab onto a post on the forearm. So just get that lined up. It'll sit in. Just, play with it a little. Get it in. And there you have the tank mode all set up. Just let me adjust some things here, keep everything, flush. I mean, it's not too crazy, but it's nice that it's included. And there is on the side of the barrel a post to peg the gun in. So there you have it. Like I said, it's a little small. I would have wished they could have worked in the parts that slide out from the front here. And maybe had it a little bit bigger, that it could sit a 3 3/4 inch figure. I mean, as it is, I think you can fit a Prime Master, Titan Master in there. But yeah, so that's about it for the transformation and the vehicle mode. So we will pause, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. As always, I like to take the final shot of the figure standing in front of their backdrop. This is from the Battle of Autobot City. It would have been nice if we could have gotten it in that little atrium dome where Perceptor was sitting, and be able to like position Perceptor in front of it with like in its microscope mode. But I think this is a really fun figure. The transformation is simple, but has a lot of cool steps going on, especially with how the arms here peg in and out of the shoulder, how everything locks into place securely. Use the panels, sort of like how that original toy had those panel bits. If like I said, some of the negatives are they didn't include those slide out panels for the tank mode, and I really, really, really wish the dial on the microscope barrel could work, that we can get a little bit of that play function of adjusting it. But yeah, those are like minor little things. This is a fun figure, and definitely, Blaster I'm not really including in my Studio Series 86 display, even though he was part of the scene here with Perceptor. But Perceptor is definitely going into my Studio Series 86 display, which I'm running out of room. That's kind of funny. I'm sure, as you guys know, I haven't even touched Galvatron yet, and obviously Galvatron has to go in there. But yeah, these figures are hitting retail now. I know the Bumblebee movie figures, Ratchet, Brawn, Wheeljack, have been spotted. I don't remember if Perceptor has, but if they're being spotted, then Perceptor has to be there. And I got to tell you, definitely worth the pickup. Important, character to the movie, but overall, it's just a fun figure. So that's about it. If you like this review, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. While I always appreciate the views, the likes, comments, and subscriptions, help to communicate to YouTube through their algorithms that my channel should be exalted and held upon high. If you want to make the ultimate sign of support, I have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. Link here in the corner, hyperlink in the description below. $1 a month, $12 a year, but as I always say, if you can't do the Patreon, your views are more than thanks enough. Patreon is a cherry on top of an already generous sundae, which is the world of YouTube. So that's about it for Perceptor. This is your old pal Chuck. We will see you next time.